Hello friends, welcome to Empires of Antiquity. Today we're diving into the captivating tale of Rome's final emperor, a boy who sat on a crumbling throne as an empire faded into history. This is the story of Romulus Augustus, the teenage ruler whose life symbolized the end of ancient Rome. Rome, once the world's most powerful empire, was now in its dying days. As it crumbled, three figures would be bound together by fate: a teenage emperor, a father driven by ambition, and a barbarian leader ready to claim a place in history. Romulus Augustus was just 16 years old, thrust onto the throne by his father Orestes, a former soldier and Roman general who'd once served under Attila the Hun. Orestes had dreams of power but needed a puppet ruler to bring them to life. And then there was Odoacer, a powerful chieftain with his own vision of Rome's future. Together they would shape the final chapter of an empire that had ruled for centuries. But as we'll see, ruling Rome in its final years was no fairy tale. Surrounded by rival generals, political betrayal, and the constant threat of barbarian invasion, young Romulus would become both a symbol and a casualty of Rome's fall. Imagine holding the title of emperor at just 16, with an empire collapsing around you. Betrayal, violence, and power struggles rage on all sides. You're not a seasoned ruler, you're simply a teenager caught in the ambitions of others. This is the story of Romulus Augustus, the last emperor of Rome, and how his fall would mark the end of an era. By 475 CE, Rome was a shadow of its former self. Once commanding vast territories across Europe, Africa, and Asia, the empire now stood fractured, its borders overrun by Germanic tribes and plagued by constant political upheaval. In the midst of this chaos, Romulus Augustus ascended to the throne, not by his own will but because of his father, Orestes. Orestes was a former high-ranking general with a history of serving alongside fearsome warriors, including the infamous Attila the Hun. When he saw a chance to seize power, he installed his son Romulus as emperor, using him as a figurehead while he wielded the real authority behind the scenes. But Romulus was no warrior or statesman. He was a quiet teenager, lost in a world of ruthless politics and treacherous allies. As emperor, Romulus was little more than a symbol, a pawn in his father's power play, sitting uneasily on the throne as the empire around him crumbled. But Romulus's fragile rule wouldn't last. In 476 CE, Odoacer, a powerful and ambitious chieftain, grew tired of the hollow promises from Rome. Seizing his moment, he marched into Italy, facing minimal resistance from a fractured Roman army. Demanding that Romulus surrender the throne, Odoacer gave the young emperor no choice. In a single, fateful moment, Romulus handed over the imperial insignia, marking the end of a lineage that had ruled for centuries. Odoacer took the symbols of power and, in a bold act that would reshape history, declared himself the first king of Italy, stepping into the void left by the empire. I, Odoacer, declare myself king of the Italians. Odoacer wasted no time consolidating his newfound power. With the imperial insignia now in his possession, he moved swiftly to establish his authority, reassigning former Roman territories and bringing influential Roman officials under his rule. He positioned himself not merely as a conqueror, but as a unifier, blending Roman traditions with the customs of his own Germanic people. Odoacer's reign marked the dawn of a new era in Italy, one where the structure of the ancient empire remained, but under the direction of a single ruler who answered to no one. In a matter of days, he transformed himself from a formidable military leader into the sovereign ruler of Italy, a king with ambitions that would shape the future of a fractured land. After his abdication, Romulus was spared and sent to live in exile in southern Italy. No longer a ruler, he lived out his days in quiet obscurity, far from the politics and violence that had once defined his life. His name would be remembered as Rome's final emperor, a boy emperor who outlasted an empire. His father, Orestes, however, met a tragic end. Shortly before Romulus's exile, Orestes was captured and executed by his political rival, the Germanic leader Odoacer, who would go on to seize control of Rome. This marked a grim end for the family that had briefly held the reins of the Western Empire. And so, with the reluctant surrender of a teenage boy, the Western Roman Empire fell. Fittingly, its last emperor bore the same name as its legendary founder, Romulus. A name that had once symbolized the rise of Rome now marked its fall. If you're fascinated by the rise and fall of empires, subscribe to our channel and join us on more journeys through history, where ambition meets destiny and empires rise, only to fall.